You know, first, whatever shitty Transformers movie that was did it, and now Rampage do it. Hopefully this isn't a trend for movies, but can you please stop destroying Chicago? What's up, guys? This is Courtney, one half of the rest of Deconstruction here, and I'm bringing you my super late review for Rampage. Rampage is a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson vehicle movie that came out last year. I mean, it made money. It probably cost like $100 million, $150 million to make, so it at least broke even. Again, this movie stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It also has Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it, Malin Ackerman from The Watchmen, Naomi Harris, hell, even Joe Manganiello has an appearance in it. So it has a nice cast of people in the film. This is a movie based on the video game Rampage. I know this is another super late review about a movie based on the video game. Maybe I'm hitting a streak. I'm not entirely sure yet. Now, does this film take the #1 spot of best video game movie from Mortal Kombat? I want to say no. It's a fine movie. The story that they built around the video game aspects wasn't really anything special. One of the weird things about the movie for me is how it started. Now, in the game, I don't know what causes the animals that you can choose from, the ape, the alligator, and the wolf. I'm not entirely sure, what causes them to grow in size and kind of, go around destroying buildings. That's the basis of the game. Now, I know Rampage from the N64 version, but this is an old 80s arcade game that, again, it's very, very simple. You rack up high scores by destroying any and everything that you possibly can. You smash buildings, kill people, that stuff, and you just get a high score. They took that basis and built a story around it. One of my problems that I have with the film is kind of how it started, and it's the basis of the story. Now, I don't think I'm going super crazy in spoilers, but you might think differently, but I don't think any crazy revelation happens in this film to warrant a spoiler warning. And I'm gonna try not to get into the plot of the film. But the movie basically starts out with the wife from Planet Terror. I'm forgetting the actress's name right now. But she's an astronaut on the space station, or some type of scientist or whatever in space. She's trying to escape. Everything is, gone to shit, basically. And there's a point where she tries to escape out of this hatch. And we hear a voiceover saying, "We're not opening that hatch until you get my research." The voice tells her, "Get the research, and then we'll open up the hatch for you to escape and come back." The reason why she's trying to escape, there's a giant fucking rat on the space station that's been infected with this gas or mutagen that's enlarged it. If you get the basis, if you saw the trailer for the movie when it came out, animals that inhale this or whatever, they start growing at a rapid rate. She's trying to escape from this rat. So she goes and she grabs 3 canisters. The ship starts blowing up. She escapes. She gets chased by the rat. She gets into the escape pod, releases it, starts heading back. Now, before it actually releases, she has to do a whole bunch of button presses. The rat is clawing at the glass. She finally releases it, and we think everything is fine. Until you realize that either by way of the rat clawing at the glass or something else, and you see scratches on the glass as it's clawing at it, but somewhere along the line, there's a small little chip in the glass. And upon re-entry, that glass breaks, shoots out, and she burns to death on the ship in the re-entry onto the Earth. So yeah, we start the movie out with a spaceship exploding. The 3 canisters that she got crash land on Earth. One in San Diego where George is, one in Wyoming where the wolf is, and I forget where the other one that affected the alligator or the crocodile, whatever it is. These canisters land, they're, releasing this smoke. The animals come across it, they breathe it in, and then we get the movie. Now, one of the things that I do like is the relationship that they build between The Rock and George, the giant ape. He's an albino ape. The Rock, we learn later on in the movie that The Rock saved him from poachers. I mean, he's an albino ape. He's probably worth a lot of money. The Rock says so. He picks him up and he basically kind of raised him, took him in. and he's a trainer at this zoo in San Diego. He signs with George. George plays pranks on people and everything like that. It's actually pretty funny. And there are a lot of funny moments between George and The Rock. So I like that aspect of the film. Other than that, there's nothing really special about the movie. It's really not. You know, there's one really big action sequence that's basically most of the third act. Malin Ackerman's character, I don't even know her name. She can't control the animals. They didn't, get that far into research or whatever like that. So she wants to still preserve the opportunity to take samples so they can do further research and further testing and experimentation. But she ends up releasing this sonic emitter that draws them in. So they make a beeline toward downtown Chicago, and they just start destroying shit because they're gonna do whatever it takes to destroy that signal. Because somebody explains it as relating to bats, and they're using this high frequency. The animals are gonna go towards it to stop it. I guess it caused them a great annoyance, basically. They're doing that, and Malin Ackerman's bad guy, she's very forgettable. Her most memorable thing that she did in the film was get the shit eaten out of her by George. Other than that, she shot The Rock. There's really nothing else worthy of mentioning about her. So I think that if they wanted to go this experimentation route, it should have been an accident, because there essentially wasn't really a bad guy in the film. Yeah, she was shady. She was a shady businesswoman, but she wasn't really that much of a threat. And even Naomi Harris's character is a former employee. We don't really know her motivation. I guess at some point Malin Ackerman says she wants to blow the lid because she feels that they're the reason why she went to jail. She went to jail over something, and she feels like she needs to blow the whistle on whatever they're doing. It's not explained, or at least I wasn't paying attention enough because it wasn't really all that interesting. But there were things in there, like that's a cool backstory. Expound on that or something if you're going to fill out everything. But again, Rampage is a game based on destroying shit. I don't think this should have been a movie in the first place. But we got one. And it wasn't really memorable, especially for a blank slate. Like for you to create your own story and be able to put your own spin on the material, because there isn't any canon for Rampage. It's about 3 animals going around some city destroying buildings, and as you go each level, the buildings are taller, there are more enemies, like the army, more military comes in and starts attacking you and things like that. It's nothing special. So I think that this is a missed opportunity for them to actually do something really, really interesting with the material that they were using. Now again, I did like The Rock's relationship with George the Eighth. I like that. It was a very, very cool and interesting relationship to see. This is an intelligent creature that The Rock communicates with, and he plays pranks and everything. And they have some really, really genuine, heartfelt, and funny moments in the film between those two. Everything else, pretty regular. Again, the third act fight, like action scene between George, Ralph the wolf, and the alligator or a crocodile, or whatever it is. That's pretty cool. I mean, leading up to it, there's actually really not much action. There's an escape scene with George where after the sonic emitter starts going off, he breaks out of this plane. There's a plane crash. Getting him on the plane when he breaks out of the zoo. He kind of goes around destroying stuff. There's a moment with Joe Manganiello. He's on like a mercenary squad or something like that, hired by Malin Ackerman. They get killed by Ralph the Wolf when they realize, hey, it's a giant fucking wolf that we're chasing. I mean, there really wasn't. The third act fight scene between all those 3, including The Rock, that's the best action in the film. Everything else kind of pretty much throwaway. So I really wish this could have been better. So for me, at least, this doesn't take Mortal Kombat's spot as the best video game movie. And that's a shame because it had potential to. Yeah, Mortal Kombat still reigning top for me. Other than that, there's really not much else that I have to say about the film. Really a missed opportunity. You know, I'm not entirely sure if this is like a one and done thing or if they plan on making the sequel. They didn't really have sequel bait in it, but I mean, who knows? I didn't think that Jumanji would have been getting the sequel, but they're filming one right now. So yeah. Another thing that I liked is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, his super southern cowboy government agent. He's pretty cool and funny. He has some interesting back and forths with The Rock, and he does become an ally at a certain point in the film after starting off a little bit more as an antagonist, but there's really nothing special about him either besides the fact that he puts on a very, very strong southern accent. So yeah, guys, that's my super late review for Rampage. If you catch it on TV, I say maybe check it out. You're not really going to miss out on anything if you don't see it. Like, it's just another vehicle for The Rock. He had a really epic year that year that he filmed this, because he filmed Rampage, Skyscraper, and I think Jumanji all in one year. And Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart, I believe. He had a crazy shooting schedule for the entire year where I was completely shocked when he announced he was having his wife or his girlfriend, I'm not entirely sure if they're married or not, but he and his spouse were having another kid. And I was like, when were you home to get her pregnant? I'm just confused. You've literally been filming the entire year. When did this happen? But I mean, then again, it doesn't really take all that much. So yeah, check out the other videos, guys. Bruce is starting to upload content again. I have a schedule that I'm trying to maintain as well. So hopefully the content on the channel starts growing. But yeah, go ahead and check out the other video, guys. Once again, I thank you for all the support, whether it's 5 people watching or 1 person watching. I really don't care. I just like talking about film, and I talk entirely too much. That's why most of my videos come out like 15, 20 minutes long. So yeah, catch up with you guys later.